This is Friday Night Football on KLST, brought to you by Randall Motors.
Welcome into the 10th week of Friday Night Football, the Halloween edition. It's the best day of the week, and we're glad you're watching. I'm Charles Bryce. Over the next 15 minutes, we'll have coverage from all around the Concho Valley. The postseason is so close, we can almost taste it, but there are 2 weeks remaining in the regular season as teams continue to make a push for district titles and playoff spots. We start with Class 6A and the Central Bobcats, who faced Odessa High on the road tonight. Cats were looking for their second straight district win. Now for the highlights, opening drive, it's the quarterback Philip Carrasco who scrambles to his right, and he's going to find his way in the end zone from 14 yards out. PAT would be blocked, 6-0 Odessa. The Bobcats will respond with a rushing touchdown from Elijah Allen. PAT would be good. They lead 7-6. Broncos with the ball. It's a bad snap by Odessa, which leads to a fumble recovery by the Cats. And they would make them pay with an 8-yard touchdown run by Form Darius Hewitt. Central leads 14-6. Bobcats were clinging to a 35-26 advantage in the fourth quarter at last check. We now shift to Class 4A. The Lakeview Chiefs continued their pursuit of a District 3-4A Division I title with a win on the road against the Big Spring Steers. Lakeview came in tied for first place with Andrews. Chiefs took a 1-0 district mark into tonight, and the Steers were 0-1. Big Spring won a close one last year. Lakeview was rolling 76-49 in the fourth at last check. And now Class 3A TLCA Eagles hosted Comanche with both teams eyeing a first district win. First quarter with Comanche up 7-0. TLCA possession. Eagles QB Jonah Munoz gets picked off by Comanche's CT Buford for a pick six. 14-0 Indians. Later in the first quarter, Eagles possession again. TLCA QB Jonah Munoz picks up some big yardage for TLCA's longest gain in the opening quarter, but the drive would stall. Still in the opening quarter, TLCA trying to get something going. Munoz fires a pass to Joseph Luna, who makes a nice reception. Later in the first, Comanche ball now, and the Indians stretch their lead to 21-0 on TD reception by CT Buford for his second score in the quarter. Time winding down in the first quarter. TLCA QB Jonah Munoz can't find an open receiver. He takes off on a run but gets sandwiched by the Comanche defense. Second quarter action now. Comanche looking to increase the lead, and the Indians do on a strong short TD run by Caden Carroll. It's 28-0 now. TLCA was eyeing its first win of the season, but Comanche wins 54-12. And now we're going to have an update from Brian Cunningham for some updated info on Grape Creek's home game against the Merkel Badgers. Brian, take it away.
Good evening, I'm Brian Cunningham, and we are live from Eagle Stadium. This was the final game of the year for Grape Creek, so this is when it mattered. The last 10 weeks, the preseason, the offseason, everything came down to this moment. A few weeks ago, you had a big dominant win, and you had to take it into this one because there is no game next week. Next week, the rest of your district plays, and you sit at home and you get to watch the fruits of your labor, and now those fruits, they have sprouted. You are now going to get a playoff berth going into the next 2 weeks. You've now solidified after a 35-14 win. Darrell West, like I said, had to have a Darrell West game, and he did. He had 4 touchdowns, 2 50-plus yard scores. He played Houdini in the first half, and the defense was lights out today. They held Merkel, a very good team, to 14 points offensively. That is winning football when you have the type of scheme that Grape Creek has, where they have to play ahead of the other team. Again, live from Grape Creek Stadium here at Eagle Stadium, we have a great game for you guys. 35-14 was the final score. Grape Creek takes the win on the last game of the year.
For the highlights for the Grape Creek Eagles home game against the Merkel Badgers, this is the regular season finale for Grape Creek. Win and get in. Grape Creek's second drive after a turnover on downs for both teams. Darrell West hits his first of 2 halftime scores. This one a 30-plus yard direct snap. 7-0 early. Merkel another turnover on downs. Grape Creek driving, and senior Sire Garcia punches this in on fourth down. 14-0 second quarter. 6 minutes to go in half. Darrell West gets a snap, cuts left, and spins in place, but the entire Badger defense blows containment, and Darrell Houdini pops up on the outside, and it would be a foot race to the end zone for his second score. Grape Creek held a 21-0 halftime lead and got the ball back at the half. Eagles win 35-14 to clinch a playoff berth. The Brady Bulldogs wrap up our 3A coverage. The Bulldogs hosted the Tolar Rattlers. Brady ended the night all alone in first place with a 3-0 district mark. Tolar came in at 1-2. A win tonight would clinch at least a share of the district championship for Brady, which is 6-2 overall and has won 3 straight. Brady did clinch a playoff spot with a 20-14 decision. Coming up on Friday Night Football, Class 2A action is back this week for district play, starting with the Concho Valley Showdown of the Sonora Broncos on the road against the Cristobal Cougars. Those scores are coming up after the break.
This is Friday Night Football on KLST, brought to you by Randall Motors.
Our 2A coverage kicks off with the Sonora Broncos on the road against the Cristobal Cougars in a pivotal district contest. Winner clinches a playoff spot. And now to the highlights. First quarter, no score. Broncos on the move. Aaron Segura over the middle to Jose Guerra for a Sonora first down. Later in the drive, Broncos knocking on the door of the Cougars goal line. Hand off to Aaron Portillo for the 2-yard touchdown. 2-point try good. 8-0 Sonora. Second quarter now, fourth down was a theme for Cristobal in this drive. Tied to bust. The QB won with the quarterback keeper to move the chain. Gang good for a Cougar first down. Later, Cristobal facing another fourth down, this time DeBusk looking in the direction of Israel Boggs, but Armani Coronado there for the tip drill and a 66-yard pick six to make it 14-0 Bronco Nation. Under 2 minutes to go in the half, Sonora once again looking for six. Handoff to John Ray Acevedo for the 8-yard touchdown. Sonora would lead big at the half, 26-0. Sonora wins this one 38-14. Sticking with 2A, the El Dorado Eagles hosted the Wink Wildcats to determine the district championship. Here's the highlights from that one. This turned out to be a one-sided affair. Wink driving the red zone, 4:20 to go in the first quarter. Wildcats score again to lead 14-0 early. Wildcats ball again after an Eagles punt. And back to business they go. Another out route puts Wink ahead 21-0. El Dorado trying to gain any kind of momentum, really. Johnny Ray Adami and Kane Brock not on the same page here. And El Dorado is only able to muster 8 points all night as Wink makes a huge statement, leaving town with the district title and a 47-8 victory. The number 6 Ozona Lions took a perfect record into a matchup on the road against the Forsyth Buffaloes. Lions entered the night at 3-0 and all alone in first place. With a win and some help, the Lions would clinch the district title. Ozona wins a tough one, 46-40. The Mason Punchers put their 3-0 district mark on the line when they faced the Johnson City Eagles on the road. After starting the season at 1-3 under their new head coach, the Punchers have reeled off 4 straight wins as they chase a 15th straight district title. Win tonight and a San Saba loss would clinch the title for the Punchers. Mason rolls 45-13. Sterling City Eagles were looking for their second district win as they tried desperately to get back in the playoff chase when they hosted the McCamey Badgers. Both teams entered the contest with 1 and 2 league marks. After winning its district opener, Sterling City has dropped 2 straight. McCamey dominates 42-6. Been a tough season for the Miles Bulldogs after losing a lot of players at graduation this past spring. Bulldogs were looking for their second win, and they were hoping to snap a 6-game losing streak with a win at home against the Winners Blizzards. Both teams came in at 0-3 in district. Miles led 38-24 in the fourth at last check. We wrap up 2A coverage with the undefeated number 4 ranked Junction Eagles on the road against the La Pryor Bulldogs. The Eagles were coming off a shutout win last week, and they were hoping to pick up where they left off. Junction secures the district title with a 62-0 blowout. The Eagles are 9-0 to wrap up the regular season at home against Sabinal next Friday. Class 1A action hits the field next with 6-man matchups. Starting with the Concho Valley battle between the undefeated and number 2 ranked Water Valley Wildcats on the road against the Erie County Hornets. We'll show you those results after the break when Friday Night Football returns.
This is Friday Night Football on KLST, brought to you by Randall Motors.
We start our 1A coverage with the number 2 Water Valley Wildcats on the road against the Erie County Hornets. Let's check out those highlights. First quarter, Water Valley up 14-8. Erie County trying to keep pace, but oh no, a bad break for the Hornets here as Hagen Turman fumbles, and it's recovered by Josiah Martinez. Sets the Wildcats up in great field position, and they capitalize. Branson Lacey starts right, now cuts left, takes it all the way for a touchdown. 28, PAT no good. Hornets turn it over on downs, and here come the Wildcats once more. Boston Weiss spins off tacklers, bulldozes his way into the end zone. Touchdown, 26-8. Next possession, second quarter. This time the Hornets find the end zone. Luke Seahorn rolls right, finds his tight end Kyle Olivon in the end zone, 26-16. Water Valley adds another here as Landon Lacey connects with Rhett Dickinson, who juggles it, has to come back for it, but never takes his eyes off the football, and he scores. Wildcats go up 34-16, and they take it, blanking the Hornets the rest of the way for a 62-16 win. As Water Valley clinches a postseason berth, Water Valley will be playing in the playoffs once again. The number 7 Robert Lee Steers were looking to get back on track after the first loss of the season with a win at Erie County. Check out the highlights. No surprise here. Brenner Sherwood takes over. Empty backfield. He takes off. No, Falcons are going to catch him. Touchdown Steers, 6-0. Steers ball again. Sherwood again. Goes left. Too easy, 14-0. Robert Lee. Very best not going down without a fight, though. Taking flight here as Jaden Saucedo sets up a screen to Alexander Colon. Spins free, and he's going to go. Falcons on the board, 14-6. You can't forget about the guy on the other sideline, Brenner Sherwood, putting on an absolute clinic with another touchdown run. And it's all Steers from there, getting it done at home, 56-6. Robert Lee is going back to the playoffs. Number 8, Menard Yellow Jackets face the Rock Springs Angoras on the road Thursday night. Menard was clinging to a 4-point lead at the half, and the Jackets had to fight like crazy to stay undefeated and pull off a 48-44 nail-biter to clinch the district title. Menard wraps up the regular season at Eden next week. Speaking of Eden, the Bulldogs were looking for their first district win after an 0-2 start in league play when they faced Nueces Canyon on the road. Something had to give tonight as the Panthers were also fighting for their first district win. Eden was up 82-34 in the fourth. Our final matchup of the night was a showdown matching the Brought Longhorns at home against the Trent Gorillas. The Longhorns took a 2-0 district record into this one, and a win would secure the district title for Rocky Rawls' squad. Trent took a 1-2 mark into this one. Brought runs away with it, 62-12. Horns host Olfen next week. Still to come on Friday Night Football, our weekly trivia, Week 10 recap, and Week 11 look ahead coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. We're coming down the home stretch.
This is Friday Night Football on KLST, brought to you by Randall Motors.
As you probably know, Ozona running back Christian Villarreal is chasing the single-season rushing record in Texas. Through Week 9 last week, he had 2,858 rushing yards, 42 rushing touchdowns, 228 receiving yards as well, and 2 TDs, including a 99-yard touchdown catch earlier this season. He's only had one game with more than 20 carries. The Texas single-season rushing record is 4,045 yards, set by Kenneth Hall of Sugar Land in 1953 in just 12 games. To this day, Hall stands alone, holding the only 4,000-plus rushing season in state history. But Villarreal looks to break it. And, of course, with football season comes our annual Concho Valley High School Football Trivia Challenge. To enter the sweepstakes, simply visit our website, ConchoValleyHomepage.com, click the Contest tab, and submit your answers each week. For your chance to win the grand prize, a $100 H-E-B gift card. Weekly winners are announced every Sunday, each of whom receive an automatic bid for the final drawing. Grand prize winner will be announced at the end of the season in mid-November. One of this week's questions: how many Concho Valley High School team names are animals? A, 4, B, 7, C, 11, or D, 20? Remember to visit our website to submit your answer. Looking ahead, recapping Week 10, Central versus Odessa High. The Bobcats face the Broncos at Ratliff Stadium, looking for a second straight district win. Cats were up 35-26 in the fourth. Lakeview versus Big Spring. The Chiefs were eyeing a 2-0 start in district play, and a win on the road against the Steers would put them in position for at least a share of the district title. Chiefs had a 76-49 lead in the fourth. Grape Creek versus Merkel. Eagles hosted the Badgers, needing a win to stay in playoff contention. Grape Creek clinches a playoff spot with a 35-14 win. Number 2, Water Valley versus Erie County. Wildcats look to stay undefeated with a road win against the Hornets in another Concho Valley showdown. Wildcats clinch a playoff spot with a 62-16 win. Very best versus number 7, Robert Lee. The Steers bounce back from their first loss with a 56-6 blowout to secure a playoff spot. Looking ahead to Week 11 matchups, here's the matchups at 11-man for next week. Central will host Friendship on Thursday. On Friday in 11-man, Lakeview will host Andrews. TLCA's at Breckenridge. Number 2, Walls at Stanton. Grape Creek's open. Brady's at Clifton. Cristoval's at Ozona. Sonora will host Colorado City. Ozona is at Cristoval. Will host Cristoval. Mason will host San Saba. El Dorado's at McCamey. Sterling City's at Iran. Miles is at Roscoe. Junction will host Sabinal. In 6-man action, number 2, Water Valley will host Paint Rock. Robert Lee is open. Erie County's at Very Best. Paint Rock at Water Valley. Menard at Eden. Blackwell at Trent. And Bront at Olfen. Stick with ConchoValleyHomepage.com for all these recaps, including scores and highlights from all Concho Valley teams. Be sure to tune in weekly for our high school football trivia. And, of course, we will see you next week for Friday Night Football. I'm Charles Bryce. Thanks for tuning in. And good night, Concho Valley. Happy Halloween.
Catering for Friday night football staff is provided by Chick-fil-A.
Friday Night Football on KLST, brought to you by Randall Motors. For more on today's stories, visit ConchoValleyHomepage.com. Closed caption.